Jack Sawyer. Hey, we could do that. I like Jack Sawyer. I think he's gonna be really good. Him, I know Aiden Hutchinson and him had a little like Michigan Ohio State beef. Like that would be the craziest thing to do right here.
It ain't our ball. It ain't our ball. It ain't our ball. It's our ball, ain't it? It's our ball. Hey!
Welcome back to the Casual GM YouTube channel, and it's 10K Bry. And today's mock draft is gonna be for the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions lost in the divisional rounds of the playoffs this year to the Commanders. They had a really good regular season, but struggled with injuries throughout the whole season and even into the playoffs, losing names like Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, and Carter Davis, and Meek Robinson, some other guys, a bunch of other guys, basically all their starters on defense. In the offseason, they've lost Aaron Glenn, their defensive coordinator, and Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator. Both of those guys have been replaced with John Morton and Kelvin Shepard as the defensive coordinator. And like always, we do 2 drafts in this series. The first draft, we don't do any trades. The second draft, we do include some trades. So yeah, first I want to look at some of the free agents that the Detroit Lions have this offseason. All right, so some of the top free agents include Carlton Davis, Marcus Davenport, Kevin Zeitler. Let me see who else. Michael Batchley, kicker. Allen Robinson, Teddy Bridgewater, Dan Skipper, Tim Patrick, Derek Barnes. So some key players, but not too many big name players. So that's basically what this draft is going to be for. We're going to be trying to replenish the Lions roster, trying to better prepare it for a better championship run this year, going into the next season. And yeah, that's pretty much all we do in this series. I did just drop a free agent video where I did talk about the top 6 teams with the most cap space and what teams they could go after. You can check that out. That's going to be in the description. You can also check out all the other mock drafts that we do. We've done the Steelers, Giants, Panthers, Browns, Falcons, a bunch of teams, Eagles, Chiefs, and we're going to be doing all 32 NFL teams. So yeah, let's get into the draft. All right, start. So the Detroit Lions are officially on the board. I also want to mention that this is only the top 5 rounds of the NFL draft. We aren't doing a 7-round draft. These are 5 rounds. And so they had the 28th pick, the 60th pick, the 101st pick, and the 133rd pick. So according to PFF, I want to make this clear. According to PFF, their needs are center, guard, edge rusher, and linebacker. That don't mean I'm just going to be strictly picking from the PFF positions of need list. If a player is available that I feel like is too good to pass up, we may take him, we may not. That's just how it goes in these drafts. So the top players on the board include Marion Hampton, Ray Zabel, Nick Scorton, Darius Alexander, Josh Conley Jr., Coaston Loveland, Jalen Walker, Demetrius Knight Jr. So let me see. I really do like Ray Zabel. At the Senior Bowl, he did look really impressive. He tried out at, I think, almost all the offensive line positions. I think he played some center at the Senior Bowl. He played tackle, played guard. So I do like him with this pick because his versatility on the offensive line. That Detroit Lions offensive line is known to be great, but some of their guys are getting up there in age. Some of their guys are going to become costly. So this could be a player that I choose right here. Edge rusher Nick Scorton. That's something Detroit Lions really need, though. They really need a second pass rusher next to Aiden Hutchinson, who's going to be coming off a really tough injury. So we don't know how he's going to bounce back. They need linebacker. I do think they need linebacker, so Demetrius Knight Jr. could be a play here. I think they need cornerback also. Because, I don't know, are they going to bring back Carlton Davis? How does Meek Robinson come back? I think he comes back to the team. I don't think he's a free agent. Terrion Arnold. I don't know how Terrion Arnold is going to be. He didn't really have a good rookie year, so cornerback to me is a position of need. I don't know if I'm gonna go with them. I don't know if I'm gonna go with cornerback at the first pick for them, but they don't pick again to 60. I don't know what corner is gonna be available there. I think it's a pretty obvious pick right here. I think Ray Zabel. I love the versatility of Ray Zabel. He really did good at the Senior Bowl. play multiple positions on the line. I think this is a pick you don't overthink. I think this fits Lions culture, which is they love to address the trenches. They love to run the ball. Um, Jared Goff definitely needs pass protection. He's one of those guys who you want to make sure he has a great offensive line in front of him. And I think there's multiple great edge rushers in this draft. This is one of the deeper draft classes when it comes to interior D lineman and edge rusher. So I don't think you need to reach on an edge rusher in the first round. I'm gonna take Gray Zabel here from North Dakota State at pick 28 for the Lions. All right, so we're back up on the board here. At pick 60, Darian Porter is here, cornerback from Iowa State. I really like him. He's a big, athletic, fast arm corner. Can really do a lot out there on the outside and match up against a lot of these big receivers that are coming into the NFL. Big athletic receivers. Yeah, Dylan Sampson, running back, is definitely a non-option for the Lions. They got two great running backs. Caleb Johnson, running back. Omar Norman Lott, I really like him. He is interior D lineman, so I mean, Aleem McNeil is a good player. I don't know if do you need another interior D lineman, at least in the top 2 rounds. I don't know. You got Donovan Jackson, tackle. Josiah Stewart, edge, could take him. Jordan Birch, Cameron Williams, Quinshawn Judkins, Chris Paul Jr., linebacker. I can really see them taking Chris Paul Jr. here. They definitely need linebacker. I want to check out his coverage grade real quick because that's basically what the league is trending towards, which is coverage linebackers. 78.1 coverage grade. It's pretty good. 87.2 overall grade. He had, what did he have this year? 73 tackles this year. Only 4 missed tackles. What's his grade against the run? He has 84.6 for run grade, 84 pass rush grade. I don't think he's the biggest linebacker. What is he? Yeah, he's not the biggest linebacker. He's only 6'1", 235. So he's kind of like a tweener between safety and linebacker. I don't know if that's like, I don't know if that fits what the Detroit Lions want to do. They like those big guys at linebacker. What else? We got Wyatt Milam, Kevin Winston Jr., Jalen Royals. I can see them taking another wide receiver. I don't think it's going to be early. I think if they take wide receivers probably like 5th round or something like that. I don't see them reaching on a wide receiver early. Looking at these picks, looking at these players, I think they need corner. Me personally, I think they need another corner. I'm gonna take Darren Porter from Iowa State here. I really like his measurables. You may say it's a reach or whatever, but I really like him. I think he's gonna rise up boards once he tested the combine. All right, so we're back on the board here at pick 101. Nick Amari, I like him, but they got Brian Branch, who's a great safety. I don't really think they need safety. Tate Ratledge. I really taking Gray Zabel because he could play so many positions. I don't really think I'm gonna take another offensive lineman because he could play. I think he could play guard. I think he could be a starting level guard, center, or tackle. So I don't really feel the need to take multiple offensive linemen when you got somebody like that who could just fit in whichever one they need. Will Howard, Quindarius Robinson, edge. I really like that. Let's look at him. He had an 86 overall grade this year, a 90 pass rush grade. He had only 3 sacks. Only 3 sacks this year, 2 sacks in 2023, 0 sacks 2022. His on the field production does not look that great. 6 hits, 10 hurries. Like, he's 6'5", 241, so he's a big guy, but I don't know. I like guys who produce in college. I want to see guys who with multiple sacks, like 8, 7, 10 sacks. Having 3 sacks, it just feels like you're a project player. It's like it's a lot of projection going on when you think of somebody with 3 sacks. It's like, oh, they're gonna get better at the next level. Now I don't know if that's always true. Like Ashton Gillette from Louisville, he's an undersized pass rusher though. Well, he's 6'3", 275, so he's not the tallest, but he is heavy. 275 is a good weight. 5 sacks this year, 9 sacks last year, 7 sacks the year before that. See, that's more of the production I'm talking about. Even though he didn't have the greatest production this year, he had 41 hurries compared to Robinson, who only had 10 hurries. So That's what I mean by production. It's not always sacks, just hurries. Hurries are big in the NFL because he had 89.9 rush grade on 78 run defense grade. He's looking like a player I could really take here. You got Aeneas Pebbles. I really like him. David Walker for Central Arkansas. See, he had 94. He had 94.6, 94.6 overall grade this year. 88.6 overall grade. 92.9 overall grade in 2022. 92.6 run defense grade. 94 pass rush grade. At 12 sacks this year. 9 sacks last year. 16 sacks in 2022. 37 hurries this year. He's 6'2", 260, so he's smaller than Gillette from Louisville, so he's undersized, but the production is there. But he did play at a smaller school in Central Arkansas, so you got to think about, does he translate to the next level playing against better talent? Byron Sorrell. This is tough. To me, this is between David Walker. I think he was at the Senior Bowl or Shrine Bowl. I can't remember which one, but I know I watched him. He did show flashes there. Ooh, this is tough right here. Because I think you would trust somebody from a program like Louisville a little bit more than Central Arkansas, but the production from David Walker was off the boards. I think I'm gonna just trust the production. I mean, 6'2", he is undersized, but hey, the lines are full of guys that kind of underdogs. They're produced at a high level. Like, that's how they stayed afloat this year. They had a lot of lower name guys that really came in and did play defense really well until it just, like, the injuries really became way too much. So I think we're going to take David Walker here from Central Arkansas at pick 101 in the 3rd round. All right, back on the board here at 133 in the 4th round. Will Howard's available. Jackson Nard. I don't know. Hey, let me know, Lions fans. What is y'all belief in Jared Goff? Do y'all think he's a future quarterback for y'all? Do y'all give? I know y'all gonna give him another year, but like, what's the leash for Jared Goff? Like, what is the expectations for him? Like, do y'all think he's the quarterback for y'all for the next 5, 10 years, or like is it results based? Like, does he have to start winning, like going on these deep playoff runs and winning? Because I mean, you could take a quarterback here like Jackson Dart or somebody who's very young, let him sit behind Goff for a few years. If Goff doesn't figure out, move forward with somebody like him. Or you could go the same thing with Riley Leonard or somebody. But I don't know. I don't see them taking a quarterback this year. I wouldn't take a quarterback, not unless it's like a backup quarterback in the later round. So that's really, I just wanted to pose that question for Lions fans. Got Jack Kaiser, linebacker. I like Antoine Powell Riley also at edge rusher. I don't think they take edge rusher back to back in this draft. Mitchell Evans. I really like Pat Bryant. Pat Bryant could be somebody they take. I know he's a wide receiver, but he had good production at Illinois. Kobe King, linebacker. Upton Stout. Nick Nash. Yeah, this is like what the Lions are a deep team, though. They don't really have like too many glaring needs. I think linebacker is definitely one. See, Jack Kaiser coverage grade isn't the greatest. It's only 62.8. He had 75 tackles this year. 82.9 overall grade. Great against the run. I think the defensive coordinator brought in, he has a history. I think he was a linebacker in the league or something. So linebacker is definitely a position I think they're gonna be able to find. And I think they're probably gonna scout that really well. Pick a good linebacker this year. It's at this point in the draft, like if they needed running back, this would be a great point to take a running back, but they don't need running back at all. So the Kobe King. 65.4 coverage grade, 74 tackles, 31 assisted tackles, 14 missed tackles is a lot though. He did play extra games though compared to some of the other guys. I know they don't need wide receiver, they really don't, but Pat Bryant's in there. That, to me, that's a steal. And I'm looking at all these other players, like Jack Kaiser. You could just take Jack Kaiser just because that's the need they need. That's just a need, but let me see who they got behind that wide receiver. So they got Amon-Ra St. Brown. We got Williams. I think Khalif Raymond. I don't think he's a free agent. I think he's coming back this year. I don't really need wide receiver. Pat Bryant's a really good player, though. Let's look at his production. 86 receiving grade. Had 984 yards this year. 10 touchdowns. 6'3", 200 pounds. I mean, like, that's a nice player right there. I think you just go linebacker. I think it's definitely clearly a position of need. I think it's a little bit early to go for them to go wide receiver, so we're gonna take Jack Kaiser here from Notre Dame, and that'll do it for this first draft. We're about to see our grade. All right, so they're saying instead of taking Gray Zabel, we should have took Nick Scorton. Let me know if y'all agree with them. Me personally, I think Gray Zabel's versatility is better. It's more needed for the Lions and more important for their offensive line than getting another pass rusher in a deep pass rusher class. Like I said, like we did, we picked David Walker in the third round. I think he's a really good pass rusher. A little bit undersized, but even if you don't like David Walker, there was other guys available that they could have went with. We saw in the fourth round, Antoine Powell-Ryland was still there. I just think it's a really deep pass rusher class versus a great offensive line class. I think offensive line class is good, it's okay, but after like the first round, it's a bunch of projects there. Offensive line, I like Gray Zabel's versatility way better than taking Nick Scorton there. Then the second round, we took Darren Porter, Iowa State cornerback. He gave us a B plus grade for that. Like I said, third round, David Walker. Then fourth round, we took Jack Kaiser. They gave us an A minus grade for that. We finished in the top 48% of Lions drafts. That's the it for the first draft. Next draft we're gonna be doing some trades. Let me know what y'all thought about this first draft. What picks y'all would have did differently. What players do y'all really like, and do y'all think I reached too much on some players, or do y'all think this is a good draft? All right, let's get into the second draft. All right, we're about to get into the second draft. Let's hit enter. All right, start. Like I said, we're gonna be doing some trades this draft. I'm probably just gonna trade the first pick. Maybe trade back, try to get some extra picks. Matthew Golden. Oh no, should we trade back, y'all? Jalen Walker, I really like him. Yeah, let's look at some of these players before we trade back though, just to see where we could trade back and what would be a good place. TJ Sanders, I really like him. Talik Williams, Trey Amos. Let's look at some of the trade offers. So we have 3 teams offering us trades. We have the Jets offering us the 42nd pick, Bengals offering the 49th pick, and Denver Broncos offering the 52nd pick. Like I said, if there isn't a good trade available, I'm not going to force a trade. It's just going to be 2 mock drafts. I'm going to try. If we don't do any trades, I'm just going to try to do something different with some of these picks we take right here. Yeah, I'm not seeing any. What would be a team outside that would be willing to trade back? That's realistic. Because I'm not trying to trade all the way back to the 40 or 50 picks. So next up, Washington. I'm trying to just think of a team that might want to trade up. Yeah, Philadelphia Eagles. I don't see them trading up. I like Jalen Walker here. He's definitely an explosive linebacker. He's more of a pass rushing linebacker than coverage linebacker, but let me see. He has a 67.5 coverage grade, so he could work on that. 83.6 pass rush grade. He had what he had this year. He had 36 tackles this year, 7 missed tackles. I don't know. He's a project type linebacker. He has all the physical tools. 6'2", 245. Could be a little taller, but very very athletic type player. I don't think he's the linebacker I would go with if I was Detroit right here. Could go Nick Scorton, pass rush, edge rusher. Demetrius Knight Jr. Let's look at him real quick. 78.5 pass rush grade, 74.9 coverage grade, 85 run grade, 64 tackles, 11 missed tackles, 6'2", 245, same as Jalen Walker. I think I do what PFF said last. Let me see some of these other edge rushers though. David Ezraku. Yeah, I think I do. I don't know. I like Landon Jackson. He feels like somebody that would fit the Detroit Lions. But I think we're gonna go Nick Scorton here, edge rusher from Texas A&M. Let's look at his production real quick though. 4 sacks last year, 8. He has all the. Let me see his physicals. 6'4", 285. So he's a big guy. I really like Landon Jackson though. He looked really well. He looked really good at the Senior Bowl. I think that'll definitely be a reach here though at 28. I feel like that's a pick you trade back and take. Landon Jackson for Oklahoma. 7 sacks this year, 7 sacks last year. 20 hurries. 88.7 against the run. He's 6'7", 280, so he's one of those like physical freaks out there. 22 years old. I really like Landon Jackson here. Ooh, this is tough right here. Let me look at Nick Scorton again to see his hurries. Could also take Darius Alexander here. I really like him. I feel like he has the potential to play on the edge a lot more than people think. He has really long arms. Very athletic. 28 hurries from Nick Scorton. Ooh, this is tough right here. I really like Darius Alexander also. 4 sacks last year, 7 the year before that. 25 hurries, 6'4", 310. But I think he has potential to play on the edge. That's the thing, though. This is tough right here. I would really like to trade back off this pick. Let me see. I'm gonna look at some trades one more time. We're going to trade back with the Cleveland Browns. So they got the first pick in the second round. So the 33rd pick. Trade them 28th pick. And let's see. And they give me their 103rd pick. And we're just going to force this trade right here with the Cleveland Browns. So that's going to be probably the only trade we do in this draft. I just want to get off that 28th pick and do something a little different. So let's resume the draft. Because I think I like Landon Jackson. Nick Scorton is still here. It seems like Scorton is still here. Josh Conley Jr. I really like Josh Conley. Tyler Williams, Jack Beck. Landon Jackson wouldn't be as much of a reach right here. I really like him. Jack Sawyer. Hey, we could do that. I like Jack Sawyer. I think he's gonna be really good. I think people sleeping on him. He had 10 sacks this year, 8 sacks last year. He had 38 hurries this year, 20 hurries last year. 6'5", 260. I know Aiden Hutchinson and him had a little like Michigan, Ohio State beef. Like that would be the craziest thing to do right here. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take Jack Sawyer here, edge rusher from Ohio State with the 33rd pick in the NFL draft. I think he's gonna be really good. I don't think there's a big separator between him and like Nick Scorton and all these other guys. Like he has the production. He's produced all these years at a high level at a big time program. I think teams get caught up too much in taking like these project guys and guys that don't produce on paper, but just expecting them to produce at the NFL level. All right, so we're back on the board here at 60. Cam Scottaboo. He's a Detroit Lions type player, but they don't need running back. Kyle Kennard is here, South Carolina. His production. Had 10 sacks this year, 7 last year, 6'5", 254. It could go multiple edge rushers. I just don't think that's what they're gonna do. Benjamin Morris here. He's a big, like, this is a steal pick right here if he's healthy, because he had a major hip injury this year. He should get some like updates after the combine and stuff, after he do medicals, because he's a first round type cornerback. Like, he could be like top 15, top 20 cornerback, top 15, top 20 player taken if all his health issues are solved and come back clean. Because that would be a great steal here for the Lions. Ooh, I might take him. Wyatt Milam. I think there'll be an offensive lineman later on. Chris Paul Jr. Ooh, let me see. We got 2 trade offers. The Orleans offering the 71st pick, and Dolphins offering the 98th pick. Nah, I'm not trading back. We're gonna keep the 60th pick and take somebody. To me, right now, it's between Benjamin Morris and like Chris Paul Jr. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Benjamin Morris here. I think this is like a steal pick right here. It's a very it's a risky pick, but it could have a lot of reward to it. It is late second round pick, so I feel like healthy, he's a top 20 player. So like that's a big upside pick right there. And I'm not confident that Terran Arnold is gonna be able to bounce back. Ooh, Deion Walker here. Deion Walker. He's Pebbles. Jared Wilson center. This definitely could be where you take offensive lineman at. Oh, we got the 103rd pick also. 103 pick also. So yeah, I really like Deion Walker. I think this is a no-brainer pick right here. Interior D lineman. Him and Lee McNeil playing together or switching out depending on how they want to use them. 6'6", 345. Like he really looked good. I think in the Senior Bowl. I think he went to the Senior Bowl. I know I watched that and the Strong Bowl. Like the games got mixed up, but I know certain guys stood out. Yeah, that's a really good pickup for them. I really wish they needed a running back, because there's just so many great running backs this class. Needed Pebbles here. He could be a better fit than Deion Walker. 3 sacks, 6 sacks, 31 hurries, 91 pass rush grade, 78 against the run, 6'1", 290 though. He's very undersized for interior D lineman. Yeah, I think we're gonna take Deion Walker here from Kentucky. Then we back up on the board. And I was already on him. Let me see if he's still here. Yep, Jared Wilson, center from Georgia. It addresses a need that they had. Not seeing Jalen Rivers tackle. Not seeing too many other offensive linemen that I would take here. So we're taking Jared Wilson, center from Georgia. All right, back on the board. You got Barrett Carter, linebacker from Clemson. That looks like an obvious pick right here. Ooh, Savion Jones. Now he really looked good at the Senior Bowl. He really looked good at the Senior Bowl. 5 sacks. Doesn't have the on-field production like that. 32 hurries is really good, but when you watch him get Senior Bowl against other great players, he really stood out. 6'6", 280. It's just like, I think Aiden Hutchinson is already like progressing faster than people thought, so he should be ready to go by the start of next season. Alec Batty. Got Luke Kendra guard. They definitely could use another guard. Get center and a guard in this draft. This is a good Carter though. He has a bad coverage grade. Great against the run, but a bad coverage grade. 6'1", 230. A little bit on the smaller side. I don't really like that pick. Man, if I was the Lions, me personally, I would have take 2 edge rushers. Me personally, because I think the league is trending towards that. Where you got these multiple pass rushers that you rotate in and out. I know the Eagles like to do that. Steelers do that. A lot of the great defenses do that. Have multiple edge rushers that they rotate in and out. But looking at the players, look at Luke Kendra. 76.7 grade this year, 81.5 grade last year, 84 pass blocking grade. Not bad, not bad. Gave up 0 sacks this year, 4 last year. 6'4", 323. That's a good guard size. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna take right here. Luke Kendra out of Cincinnati. Because they could lose like 2 or 3 offensive linemen this year in free agency. So keep in mind, all this is not based on what they're doing for agency. All this could change after free agency. Some of these picks, obviously, but this is just assuming they don't do anything in free agency, and these are the needs that they still have. All right, so they're saying we took Nick Scorton over Jack Sawyer, which I mean, yeah, Nick Scorton is going to definitely go before Jack Sawyer in this draft, but I like seeing production on paper versus projected production, which is what I think Nick Scorton is. He's a player with a lot of potential. I like seeing somebody who did produce in college, and I think that's going to translate to the next level, especially since he did play the big time program. It wasn't like a small program where he could question his production, like, oh, did it come against great competition? Like, no, Jack Sawyer played great competition all his years at Ohio State, produced at the biggest levels. Like he closed out the can't remember, was it the championship game or with that sack that he returned for a touchdown. But like he produced at high leverage situations. I think you can't pass on that. That's how the Lions got Aiden Hutchinson. Like the Jaguars overthought the draft and passed on Aiden Hutchinson and took a project guy in Walker he's really good. Walker is really good. He gave you like 10 sacks, but as you can see, Aiden Hutchinson is producing just like he did in college. Like he's producing at a way higher level. He was on pace to be Defensive Player of the Year going into the draft. And like I didn't want to pull a Jacksonville Jaguars and overthink it here. So I took Jack Sawyer with their first pick in the second round. We traded away the first pick that they had in the first round to Cleveland, and we got back the 33rd pick and a 4th round pick at 103. Then in the second round, we took Benjamin Morris, cornerback from Notre Dame. Cornerback isn't like a glaring need for them, but depending on how free agency go, I like Benjamin Morris. He was more of the upside pick for me. Like if I'm a risk taking a player, I'd risk taking Benjamin Morris because like he's a projected first round guy if healthy. Then we took Deion Walker in the 3rd round, interior D lineman out of Kentucky. Then we went and saw the offensive line. We took Jared Wilson, center from Georgia, and Luke Kendra, guard from Cincinnati. And we got overall a B- grade. All right, that'll do it for this video. Let me know which draft y'all like better. Do y'all like any of my picks? Would y'all have different with some of my picks? Do y'all think I'm a complete casual? Just let me know. We do, like I said earlier, we have a bunch of other mock drafts up already on the channel, and some more coming in the future. Like I said, just dropped that video for NFL free agency, top six teams with most cap space and some of the players they could go after. So you can check that video out. The Lions, I do believe, are top 10 in cap space. So, like I said, this whole list could have been different depending on free agency, but this is obviously before free agency. And yeah, stay tuned for the next mock draft, and peace out.
It ain't our ball. It ain't our ball. It ain't our ball. It's our ball, ain't it? It's our ball.